Hello folks, in previous lecture we have discussed that we need to set up this environment to start developing our cab booking Java application. I have already explained this one with this diagram. Now let's go and create our private repository first. This is my GitHub account. Here I am going to create a new repository. And this is car rental application, so I am going to name it as a taxi booking. Okay, taxi minus booking, this is the name I am giving, and it should be a private repository, right? So I'm naming it as a private repository. I'm adding a readme file for this one and create a repository. All right, we have created a repository called taxi booking, that is a private repository, and we got a default branch called master. But I don't need this branch, right? We need to create prod, UAT and dev branches. Okay, if you click on this one, you can see here you have only one branch, and that is also master. And also please remember that if your branch is default branch, you cannot delete this branch. You need to create another branch and make that one as a default, then only you can delete this one. So to create a new branch, it is quite simple. Just click over here and name the branch which you would like to create. First, I would like to create a dev branch. Okay, you can see here create branch dev from master. It is going to create a branch called dev from the master branch. All right, we got a dev branch, and whatever code is there in the master branch, same code get copied into the dev branch. Similar way, I want to create UAT branch as well. So we are creating a UAT branch as well. All right, now we have created dev and UAT, and one last thing, we are going to create prod branch. Fine, we have created three branches. You can see here dev, prod and UAT. Now our master is no more required and it is default, so I cannot delete it. Before deleting it, I need to change default to any one of these branch, then I can delete. I'm going to make dev as a default branch. For that one, I can go to branches, and you can see here change default branch. I'm going to change dev as my default branch and update. Yes, I understand, update the default branch. All right, now dev became a default branch. If I go here, you can see here your dev is the default branch and master is not default branch anymore. Now I can delete my master branch because I don't need it. So to delete master branch, you can see here new pull request or delete. I want to delete this branch. That's it. I have deleted my master branch. Now we have only three branches. Those are dev, prod and UAT. Okay, cool. Next thing is I need to create protection to my branches, right? So I need to protect my UAT and prod branches. Why? Because developers can able to push their changes only onto the dev branch, not onto the prod or UAT branches. For that, I can go to settings and branches. Here you can add branch protection rule. And please remember that this option is not enabled if it is a private repository and yours is a free account. You should enable the pro account, then only this option get enabled for the private repositories. Mine is a paid version of account, nothing but I have pro account. That is the reason this option is enabled. Now I am adding a rule and branch name pattern, nothing but which branch do you want to protect. I want to protect UAT branch. So while protecting UAT branch, what kind of rules you want to give? Require pull request reviews before merging, which means that if somebody is trying to push their code or check in their code onto UAT branch, we should go with the pull request. And also it requires the reviews. So how many people has to review? I can specify one or two or up to six I can specify. Okay, in this case I'm going to specify only one. One reviewer is fine to check in the code onto the UAT branch. And also if you scroll down, there are a lot of options, but mostly we are going to use this option. Anyway, I have already discussed some of these options in our previous lectures. And include administrators, nothing but even you are a administrator. In this case, I'm a administrator. Do you want to enforce administrator also should follow the same rules? In my case, I'm not specifying the include administrators because administrator can do whatever he want. So I have just chosen that only whenever somebody pushing their changes onto UAT, one approver is needed. That's it. So that is how you can add or protect your branch. Next, I want to add prod branch also. So again, click on branches and create one more rule. And this time I'm going to give the prod. So on prod branch, we are requesting for the reviews before merging. And this time I'm specifying 2 reviewers. All right. So and create it. This is how we can protect our branches on GitHub. Now developers can push their changes only onto dev branch, not onto UAT or prod. If they want to push onto UAT or prod, they have to go with the approval process. Either it could be a peer-to-peer approval or manager or team lead approvals. Okay, so this is the things we need to do. Next thing, we need to add collaborators, right? So for collaborators, go to settings and manage access. Here we need to add collaborators. So far we don't have any collaborators. I'm adding Vayankils as one of the collaborator. Nothing but he can approve the changes and he has to approve from his email ID. Similar way, I'm adding one more collaborator, that is Velaxi. Okay, Velaxi Infotech, I'm adding one more collaborator and add Velaxi Infotech. So these two are the collaborators. Just think that Vayankil's account belongs to the developer 2 and Velaxi Infotech account belongs to the developer 3. Okay, usually I should create separate accounts for them. Instead of creating them, I'm just reusing the existing accounts. Now I have added collaborators as well. Let me see what options we left out still. We have created a private repository, created 3 branches, and added team as a collaborators. It is done. Okay. Enable SSH based authentication. This is yet to do. Protect prod and UAT branches. Next, 1 approval needed to check in the code onto UAT and 2 approvals needed to check in the code onto prod. So till here we have done. Build and deploy should be successful before checking the code onto UAT as well as onto prod. This we are going to see in the later point of time. Next thing, we need to enable SSH based authentication. This we are going to see in the next lecture. Thanks for watching and see you there.